Hey, what's happening, my friends, my colleague beasts? I've been going through my video catalog here on YouTube and realized that I haven't really done much on showing the lower body stretches that are kind of like my go-to stretches that are good for the legs. And this is really important, especially during the warm-up phase of your training session. And if you come out and you train collie with me in person, you come out to one of my seminars, come out to like my ITC training camps or something like that, right away you're gonna realize that our training is very heavy on footwork. And one of the things we gotta make sure we do is warm up that lower body, but the stretches are also gonna be good for maintenance work to make sure that we're not pulling hamstrings, not blowing out calves or anything like that. So let me just show you a few really good go-to stretches I find help to maintain my mobility in my lower body for my footwork, but also helps to keep my hamstrings, my quads, and my calves healthy, so I'm not getting any kind of overstraining training injuries. So one of the first things I like to do is just get the body moving and warmed up with some dynamic movement in the joints. And even though we're gonna be focusing mostly on the legs right here, we're gonna get all the main joints just moving here. And so we're gonna do some big arm circles just like this. If you're a little bit tight in the shoulder and this is tough, just do some shoulder circles with your hands down, that's fine. Or you could bring your hands up and just as high as feels good for you right now. If you can go all the way up, then go all the way up. And we're just gonna kind of go quickly here, but just do what feels good. And we're gonna get our shoulders, this helps to get our back, our chest muscles warmed up. Then we just go the other way, maybe like 10 to 20 reps of all these rotations here. Nothing too crazy, just getting the blood flowing and getting the muscles and all that tissue inside moving around. Okay, now after we do that, then I like to go into the cross so we get some of that horizontal motion going on in the shoulder blades and in our chest muscles, all that stuff. Okay, and then we're gonna rotate our trunk, do some trunk twists right here. Just make sure you're breathing normal here. We're not holding our breath, not doing any kind of special breathing, just breathing normal. You wanna make sure you got good oxygen circulating through your body, through your blood. That's gonna help keep those muscles in the condition that they need to be in. Okay, and then we're gonna start hitting that lower body. So first one that's really good is just doing our hip circles. Just locking our feet into the ground and just doing some circling with the hips. And going the other way. Like I said, maybe 10 to 20 repetitions each direction, and that is plenty. And then we're gonna bring our feet together, put our hands right over our knees, and we'll do some knee rotations. Now when you're working your knee rotations, just go as low as you can, dip as low as you can that feels good and that can maintain your balance. And over time, as you can get deeper, then work on getting deeper. And make sure we go back the other way, just doing about 10 to 20 reps or so. And you can really do all of these dynamic stretches and static stretches and all that really any time during the day. It's a good idea to do it maybe 2-3 times. I like doing all this when I wake up, before I go to bed, and then right before any collie training session. And it doesn't take long. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna target our hamstrings first, and we're gonna just kind of stand with our feet outside of our hip and shoulder distance, and we're gonna keep our knees straight. We're gonna keep them straight. Keep our back straight. So I want you to kind of squeeze your shoulder blades together, and we're gonna hinge at the hips. So watch my butt, it's gonna drop backwards, keeping our legs straight and just working a little bit of a stretch in those hamstrings. And we're just gonna go as low as we can until we feel that stretch, and then ease out of it. And we're gonna rep that out. Hinge into the stretch, and then ease it out. And we're just gonna do this 5 to 10 times. Then just regulate your breathing, just breathe normal. That way you're staying relaxed, telling your muscles this is a good range of motion, this is safe, we're safe being here in this range of motion. And each time that you hinge, you want to see if you can get a little bit deeper. All right? And then on that last one, we're going to hold it for about 10 seconds or so. All right, then we're gonna bring our feet together, and this time we're gonna let the back round, and we're just gonna bring our hands down towards the ground. If you can't touch the ground, just go as low as you can. Try to touch your shins first. Try to touch your feet. Get your fingertips on the ground. Slowly work towards your palms being on the ground. And you can soften your knees here a little bit, that's fine. And then we're gonna come back up, reversing that motion, back into a neutral spine right there. Okay, from here, we're gonna kind of start lowering down a little bit. I want you to come down into a squat, a deep squat, as low as you can go. If this is uncomfortable for you, then I want you to place 2 sticks or 2 blocks under your heels and raise your heels up. And that's gonna help take some of that pressure off your hips or off your ankles, so that way you can get deeper. Okay, but we're gonna come down into the squat right here. So we're getting good flexion in the hip flexor, and we're getting this good flexion, good compression in the knee. Very important position to be in. Okay, if your knees are sore and all that, you're getting pain in there, just kind of ease out of it, but that means you're gonna need to get down and spend more time in the squats. Right, you gotta get this compression in the knee. This is a healthy position for our hips, for our knees, for our ankle, and for our back. So once we're down here, I'm gonna put my hands on the ground, palms on the ground, and I'm going to lift my tailbone up in the air until I can straighten my legs as much as I can. If you're only here, that's fine. The hamstrings might be a little tight, but just go as straight as you can, and then ease it back down into your squat, just like that. Hands down, come up, and back down. And just enjoy the day. Enjoy the views that are around you. And just doing about 5 to 10 of these. And every time you lift your tailbone and you go into your forward fold, just see if you can get your knees a little bit straighter. And this is really good for working that lower side of the hamstrings that's coming in to that point right behind the knees. That first one that we did is gonna work a little bit higher up where the hamstring's starting to connect to the glutes. And this one's gonna start working in that hamstring where it's starting to connect behind the knees and into the calf. Try to keep your stomach and your thigh pinched together. Sometimes when I'm learning this or teaching this to a beginner, I like to have them take like a roll of socks or their cell phone and put it right there in their hip and try to squeeze it. Don't let it fall out. And then we'll do one more, and then I got one more stretch for you. All right, now this last stretch, we're gonna target our calves specifically. So we're gonna come out, bringing our hands forward, walk the feet back a little bit. Just have everything about shoulder, hip distance apart. Kind of like a down dog position in yoga. We're gonna bring our tailbone up, push through our hands and through our shoulders, and then we're gonna drive one heel towards the ground. And then we're gonna drive the other heel towards the ground. You're gonna feel a nice stretch in those calves. And we're gonna warm them up just by pedaling nice and slow like this, nice and easy. We don't want fast motions here. It's nice and slow. And if you're feeling some extreme tightness in your calf, then I want you to hold this position, pushing back with your hands, driving your heels to the ground, and hold this position for 1 to 2 minutes. You could even flex your calf, and that's gonna put more intensity into that stretch. And in about 1 to 2 minutes, you should feel some release in your calf muscle. Once you feel that, then if you need to, you can even work that other side. Push, pressing that heel into the ground, and hold that stretch for 1 to 2 minutes, or until you feel some release in that stretching tension in your calf. Okay, then we're just gonna kind of pedal our feet as we're walking up towards our hands. And stand back up. And that's it. Just a couple really simple stretches that don't take a whole lot of time. They're not difficult. You don't need to get into any kind of weird pretzel positions. But these stretches are highly effective in keeping your muscles and your hamstrings nice and flexible and loose and warmed up and ready for your collie training. That way there's no strain or overuse injuries, pulling hamstrings or popping calves or something like that, especially as you are training your footwork really intensively. If you want to see more content like this, kind of more of the keeping your body able and mobile for your collie training, then let me know down in the comments. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave those down in the comments as well. And keep training, keep succeeding, and I'll catch you back here next time.